Well, that was an absolutely horrible night there at Cape Stewart. So that swell was wrapping around into the bay and we rolled gunnel to gunnel all bloody night. Hey, one more plus there for cats. Our little cruising companion here, Lady D's a cat. I think he had a slightly better night than us. Not a hugely better night, but a slightly, well, no, definitely a better night. But for us, it absolutely sucked. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I'd rather be at sea than rolling my guts out in an anchorage. Anyway, we got underway about 5:30 this morning and just gently eased our way out of Cape Stewart because it's unsurveyed, so we went very, very slow. Not a lot of wind again today, so it looks like motor sailing, probably motoring really. And the goal will be south something or other island. There's two, south and north. I can't remember the names, we'll have to look them up. So there's two islands that we can aim for. The southern one's got a fantastic anchorage, but it's about 85 miles, it's a long way. And without wind, you know, motoring at 6 knots, I don't know whether it's actually achievable. And I suspect that we're going to get some onshore nor'easters later this afternoon with this calm conditions. So we need an anchorage that will protect us from that. So if we don't get that far, around about 65 miles, there's a place called Keon Point, which will present at least some protection from that that east-northeast if it comes in this afternoon. So that'll be the minimum, 65 miles I think. There's no other anchorages between here and there that's suitable for tonight, and preferably one of those north-south islands. It'd be nice to get to that south island because that as an anchorage will be, you know, we could pull a billiard table out and set it up on the foredeck tonight if we can make that distance. See how. That's a sound we haven't heard for most of yesterday. Fish on. Let's see what we got. That feels like a reasonable fish. Good thing today about motoring is that I can actually slow down. Oh, we got a nice big solid hook up here. I'll let you know what we got. Uh-oh. Oh! No, he go! Oh! He just shook the lure. It's gone. Oh no.
Oh no, that's tragic.
Oh. I found a little bit of wind, I think about 8 knots of wind, which is enough to sail, but not enough to sail quickly enough to make this passage today, so I'm going to continue motor sailing. Getting to Darwin is probably my key plan right now, so keeping those passage miles up is fairly important. The minimum distance we have to do is 65 miles today. The maximum is 85. I'm keen to do that 85 if I can crank off the miles, because it'll be a better anchorage, far better anchorage than the 65 mile one. Anyway, yeah, so got a little bit of wind. Something's happening. Lost that fish earlier. Damn. It was a good hit too. More fish in the sea. Hope this one stays on. Feels like a good fish. Let's see what we got. Uh-oh. It's off again. 3 times. 3 times this morning we've lost a fish. The wind has completely dropped out on us now, out here in the East Arnhem Land. Must be close to Central Arnhem Land by now. And yeah, we've got nothing. I've left the mainsail up because it's casting some shadow in the middle of the day across the deck because it's pretty warm today now that there's no wind. But there's a bit of a leftover swell coming out of the northeast. I don't know where that came from. Must have been a bit more created last night than I thought. We've had 6 hits on our line today. At least 4 of them have been really solid smoking out line hits for 30 seconds or more before they've shaken the lure. So we haven't landed a single fish today. Very, very disappointing. We've still got probably 3/4 of a Spanish mac in the freezer, but I always like to have Spanish mac in the freezer, so I really would like to get another one. Anyway, you can't change those things. What am I stressing about? There's nothing to stress about. So we just saw 2 big dolphins. There at the bow, darling, come here. Big ones. Look at the size of these guys. Wow. I don't know what sort of dolphin. They're something else. They're big. Wow. I think these are pilot whales. Wonder what this stuff is. Living here in the tropics, always seen this brown scum on the water from time to time. I know it's not pollution, it's natural, but if anyone wants to tell me what that is, I'd love to know. I've heard all sorts of things like sunscreen from the coral and coral spawn and all this sort of stuff. I don't think either of those things are actually true. Anyway, tell me. So for those of you a little bit technically minded, I've got AGM batteries on board. Now they've been in there for about 3 years, I guess. They're getting old, they're not holding their charge like they used to. It is getting time to replace them, and I'm thinking about doing it in Darwin when we get there. So I just reached out to some battery people. I've been hearing a lot about these lithium batteries and how great they are, and so I wanted to see what it would cost me to get the LiFePO batteries on board, and to be honest, I'm absolutely shocked at the cost. Yeah, look, I know they're better, but the price, wow. It's going to cost me probably $8 grand to get the house batteries replaced with LiFePOs. By the time the additional stuff that you need to have for lithium batteries is installed, plus the installation of batteries and the rewiring and stuff like that, $8 grand is a lot of money, So, you know, as much as I love the idea of these lithium batteries, I can see why it's very difficult for people to swap across to them from their existing AGMs, because I could probably put AGMs in for $3 grand. So, you know, that's a significant cost. If it was 1.5 times the cost, you know, you'd probably find it, but when you're talking 2.5 times the cost, you just can't justify it. So I think it'll be back to AGMs for us. So it's not a big fish, this one. It's hopefully a Spanish mac.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to small Spanish mackerel. He's going to have to go back, he's only a little guy. Well, at least we landed one, finally. Alright, so we've had hookup number 8. Oh, there he goes, big splash on the surface. This feels like a better fish than the last one. We had to let the last one go, he's a little bit small. And look, there's no point keeping the little guys. They chance to grow up and put some meat on. Hopefully we've got another Spanish mac on. Alright, so this was hookup number 7. We finally landed a couple. I think it's because I kept the speed of the boat up. This guy put up a little bit of a fight. He's about 4 feet. Definitely good size for the freezer. Nice Spanish mac. Thanks for that. Feeling pretty good. We're going to pass between North Goulburn and South Goulburn Islands here in Arnhem Land. We're probably about an hour and a bit off our anchorage, so that means we're going to be anchoring right on sunset or maybe slightly after. But the approach is a lot better today, at least it's surveyed waters. So I'm not concerned about the anchorage tonight. It's been 85 miles I think today. Long long trip, and the first half of the day was with very little wind, so we were moving very slowly. So we did well to make up some time later this afternoon when the wind filled in. I really love Arnhem Land. There's so much here, from the pilot whales that we had earlier today to the Spanish mackerel that we just keep being able to catch. You know, the place is alive. It's an amazing place. It's a little bit like Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is untouched and alive, and there's fish and everything's alive. Well, out on the islands, the remote islands anyway. And Arnhem Land, the top end here, you know, between Cape Vessel and what we've seen so far to this point, we haven't seen another yacht since we left Torres Strait, apart from the boat that we're travelling with. In fact, we haven't even seen another boat, let alone a yacht. There we are, coming around the southern tip of North Goulburn Island. We're going to head north and head into Mullet Bay there. We'll ditch some sail as we come around the corner, I think. Just motor up the last part. Just passing through a tuna boil, I think, right here on Sunset. Yeah, tuna are just hitting the surface right beside us. There they go. We're just approaching now into Mullet Bay. Check out that for a sunset. Wow, this Arnhem Land is incredible. That is an incredible red. It's like the sky is on fire. It's like someone set off a nuclear device over there towards Darwin. That is just